so much, and good evening. And first, let me just thank you for this really very humbling honor and for that very warm introduction. And I just have to say, I call Anthony Tony because we go way, way back to the day. Many of you remember a great champion for minority-owned businesses, our beloved Congressman Perrin Mitchell. That's when Tony and I met. And I remember Perrin established the first minority business brain trust. Then I was working for Congressman Ron Dellums. And we got to know each other during those days. And I tell you, Perrin we wouldn't be where we are if it had not been for Perrin Mitchell and for Tony. And I'm so pleased and delighted that you stayed the course, because it's a very difficult time for minority-owned businesses. Even though I think the Obama administration is really making a difference in our lives and in the lives of minority-owned businesses. And so I want to thank you for staying the course. We have many, many challenges, as all of you know, but I think with Anthony at the helm of his organization in terms of the Legal Defense and Education Fund, I think we're going to make huge progress during this administration. Let me take a moment to thank Michael of Mountaintop Marketing for your leadership and for continuing. Give Michael a round of applause. And for, in your own way and with your spirit, continuing the legacy of Dr. Height. Dr. Height was a woman who I loved, who you loved very dearly. And she wanted to make sure that entrepreneurs and members of the Congressional Black Caucus connected so that we could have a powerful voice on Capitol Hill, because she knew that in working together and speaking with one voice, we would overcome many of the challenges that we're still faced with. And so thank you, Michael, very much. I want to also thank Dr. Avis Jones DeWeaver of the National Council of Negro Women for continuing to make us proud and continuing to allow Dorothy Height's direction and her counsel to permeate the National Council of Negro Women. Thank you again so much. Let me also say, and Tony knows this, that before I came to Congress, I was a business owner. I was an 8A contractor, 11 years. Hey, let me tell you, for those of you who are 8A contractors, God bless you. I tell you, I was 11 years. I graduated, I guess it was then 7 years in the program, but honest to God, access to capital, beating those doors down to identify contracting opportunities, just trying to work with the prime contractors, trying to get financial institutions and banks to look at my company and say, yes, we can do a line of credit without taking everything that I owned. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. It was horrible. It was an unbelievable experience. Because of my mother and my sister and my employees, we made it for 11 years, 500 employees. And it was an amazing time, but I tell you what, I learned a lot during that period as a business owner. And I swore, once elected to Congress and once I had to divest, of course, of the business and sold it, that I was going to do everything I could do when I got to Congress to make it better for minority-owned businesses. And whatever it took, I was going to do. Whatever it took. And so a large part of my agenda as chair of the CBC and as a member of the Appropriations Committee is to hold these federal agencies accountable. We have an economic security task force. You know all of our members, all of them are phenomenal on small business and minority business issues. And so I have to salute them tonight also in accepting this award. And just say that we know that small businesses and minority and African-American owned businesses are job creators. And if we're going to have an economic recovery and if we're going to reduce this unemployment rate, which unfortunately in the African-American community is twice the national average, then we've got to support our African-American owned businesses. And we've got to make sure that the playing field is leveled and that the access is there. And so I just have to thank you all for coming together. And just know that once this weekend ends, we want to see you on Capitol Hill beating those doors down and beating the bushes and holding your members of Congress accountable to your agenda. I want to thank Chris Van Hollen for your leadership. He's been such a leader on small business and minority business issues. Anything that we're champion as a CBC, he's right there helping us. And all of the awardees tonight, congratulations. Thank you again. Hope you have a wonderful evening. God bless you.